today on DC News Now at 4.
The will of the people always prevails.
President Biden promises a peaceful transition of power as he passes the baton. Plus, President-elect Donald Trump begins laying out his plans once in office, what he's proposing from immigration to health care. Then, disturbing new details about a failed murder-for-hire plot, how Montgomery County police say the plan unraveled before it ever took off.
Temperatures are finally set to drop as we head into the weekend. We'll let you know how chilly it could get over the next few days.
Later, talk about monkeying around, why dozens of primates are running loose in South Carolina.
You're watching the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Good afternoon. Taking a live look at the White House, where President Joe Biden delivered his first remarks to the nation since his Vice President Kamala Harris conceded. Thanks so much for joining us for DC News Now at 4. I'm Annalisa Gale.
And I'm Marielle Carbone in for Mark Hall. Those remarks coming more than a day after Americans elected former President Donald Trump for a second term. Washington correspondent Raquel Martin joins us with Biden's message.
President Biden's main point to the country, especially to voters disappointed in the outcome of this year's election, is the country will be okay. The president is promising a peaceful transition of power and says President-elect Donald Trump has accepted his invitation to the White House.
Setbacks are unavoidable, but giving up is unforgivable.
President Joe Biden with a message of hope and resilience after voters took to the polls election day and handed an overwhelming victory to President-elect Donald Trump.
We accept the choice the country made.
From the Rose Garden, President Biden pledged to fulfill his duty in the remaining weeks of his presidency.
74 days to finish the term, our term.
And ensure the next administration is prepared to take the reins.
We'll have a peaceful transfer of power here in America.
The Trump transition team is already in full effect. Those heading the operation say Trump will be selecting leaders to serve in his cabinet and beyond in the days and weeks ahead.
Rest assured that he will have the full backing of Republicans in the Senate.
Thanks to big wins for Republicans in Congress, Republican Senator John Thune says the GOP is ready to hit the ground running.
To move an agenda that's good for this country, that deals with taxes and extending the 2017 tax law, dealing with energy dominance, dealing with the high cost of regulation.
President-elect Trump says he will give RFK Jr. a role leading public health and Elon Musk oversight on government efficiency.
The White House held its first press briefing since the election today. The press secretary says a date has not yet been selected for President-elect Donald Trump to meet with President Biden at the White House. For now in Washington, Raquel Martin, back to you.
In Maryland, the race for the state's 6th congressional district is still neck and neck. Democrat April McLean Delaney is 348 votes ahead of Republican Neil Parrott. That is with 84% of the votes counted. Now, the results were last updated at 10:30 this morning. And Maryland elections officials say we may not learn the final outcome of that race until a week from Friday. So still some time to go there. Well, you are taking a live look outside on this beautiful Thursday afternoon, and the view there also beautiful. I know I was saying earlier just how warm it was being outside today. Let's get over to meteorologist Damon Matson for that first look at our forecast.
Yeah, Damon, pretty comfortable out there right now, and it has been, which is abnormal for us.
Oh, yeah, especially just this warm overall. And ironically enough, there was even a tinge of humidity in the air. That's just not normal for November, but it's the pattern we've had. Now, I will say this, temperatures actually hit a peak for some locations around lunchtime. It's still very warm in DC right now at 78, but around 12 o'clock, 1 p.m. here, we saw that temperature around 82. So just like that, we are seeing those temperatures dial back a couple of degrees already. We still, though, have 81 in Fredericksburg, 80 in Woodstock. You have to go all the way north to the Pennsylvania-Maryland line to find slightly cooler temperatures around 70 in Cumberland and Hagerstown there. But overall, the reason we've had still some warmth, but we'll get a cool down going here soon enough is the fact that we've had a frontal boundary country that has been crossing through. It's dropped well south of us at this point, taking a good bit of the warmth with it, and there will be some cooler air rushing in behind it now as we head into the overnight hours. And we've had some clouds in the sky at times today. Those will also be breaking up as we head into the night, and look at that. We'll go quickly out of the 70s, and then by 10 to 11 o'clock tonight, most of the DMV will be back down in the 50s. Now, could we continue to dial these temperatures down as we head into the upcoming weekend? Will it be a more classic feel for November? We'll have a full look at that forecast coming up here in just a bit.
All right, Damon, thank you. Well, in Montgomery County, police say a woman tried to hire a hitman to kill her ex-boyfriend. Now she and her former sister-in-law are facing charges.
Yeah, DC News Now's Kevon Dupree covers Montgomery County for us. He was there when the woman at the center of the case appeared in court.
Adelaida Zacharias Chacon, who lives in Germantown, is being charged with conspiracy to commit murder and solicitation to commit murder after allegedly planning to kill her ex-boyfriend earlier this year. Montgomery County police say a caseworker at the sheriff's office's Family Justice Center called them in June. The caseworker said Zacharias Chacon stated she tried to have her husband killed. Investigators determined it was, in fact, her ex-boyfriend. They also found that she connected with her former sister-in-law, Reina Gomez Lopez of Philadelphia. That's who was supposed to arrange the hit, using people from Philadelphia to do it.
We opened up an investigation, and that investigation led us to showing that there were transfers made between the Montgomery County suspect and the Philadelphia suspect, and money was paid in the amount of $1,000.
During their investigation, detectives found several text exchanges between the women. Bank records also confirmed a $1,000 payment was made. According to charging documents, Zacharias Chacon wanted her ex-boyfriend killed because he left her for another woman.
Right now, we do have 2 people in custody, and those were the 2 people who were involved. There was no one else who was involved. They were not successful in, harming the ex-boyfriend.
Zacharias Chacon's bond hearing was moved to Friday. Gomez Lopez is awaiting extradition to Montgomery County from Philadelphia. Reporting in Rockville, I'm Kevon Dupree, DC News Now.
Kevon, thank you. Well, D.C. police have arrested a teen after a man was attacked in a popular nightlife area in Northwest Washington. 6 more suspects are still wanted now. Police say the group attacked a man at 14th and T Streets overnight. On October 27th, he was rushed to the hospital, but he is expected to be okay. Investigators are now looking at this as a possible hate crime.
And developing this afternoon, D.C.'s United States Attorney's Office is not filing charges against any U.S. Park police officers involved in the shooting death of a 17-year-old boy last year. D.C. News Now's Randy Bass is outside the Department of Justice with the latest details. Randy, what can you tell us?
Yes, prosecutors announcing today they feel there's just not enough evidence to be able to bring federal civil rights charges or criminal charges along with any D.C. local charges against the officer accused in this case. That shooting happened back on March 18th of last year in Northeast. That shooting killed 17-year-old Delano Martin. Officers say Martin was sleeping in the driver's seat of an SUV last year when they found him, and when officers tried to go into the car through a back door to get him out, he woke up, started driving down the street with a parked police officer in the back seat. Dramatic body camera footage shows the officer telling Martin to stop the car or he'll shoot, but Martin keeps driving. That's when the officer fired 5 shots at the teen. The car kept moving, crossing over a sidewalk and crashing into a house on 36th Street. The announcement coming today that there will not be charges filed against that officer at this point. The U.S. Attorney's Office saying in part in a statement, the U.S. Attorney's Office remains committed to investigating allegations of excessive force by law enforcement officers and will continue to devote the resources necessary to ensure that all allegations of serious civil rights violations are investigated fully and completely. Now, we've reached out to Martin's family members and other local organizations that have supported them over the last year and a half. They are all very emotional hearing this news and not ready to talk on camera with DC News Now at this point. However, his family attorneys are expected to issue a statement sometime soon. In Northwest, I'm Randy Bass, DC News Now.
Randy, thank you. Well, new at 4, Virginia Congressman Connelly, who was just reelected Tuesday, has now announced that he has been diagnosed with cancer. In a statement on X, the 11th District Democratic representative says it's impacting his esophagus. He plans to undergo chemotherapy and immunotherapy. He says he's confident in a successful outcome and thanks his family, friends, and other supporters for their encouragement.
And in the district, the Congress Heights Post Office was dedicated to D.C. service members and veterans. The district's Congresswoman Eleanor Holmes Norton spoke at the ceremony today, and she says D.C. residents have served in every war since the Revolutionary War.
While it is important that our country honor all service members and veterans, our country owes a very special debt and gratitude to D.C. service members and veterans who serve or have served their country without voting representation in Congress or full local self-government.
And President Joe Biden signed it into law in 2022 after being introduced by Eleanor Holmes Norton.